And now, it's time for another episode of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. A show made by 12s from around the world, for 12s around the world. I'm Mozette, and here's your host and my dad, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, thank you, Mozette, and welcome to episode 615, the Charger edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show, as your Seattle Seahawks get ready to take on the Los Angeles Clippers. No, wait, Chargers. Yeah, that's it, Chargers. And what can I tell you? I guess I need to double check game times for my show when I do it, huh? More on that later. So glad to be back for our 140th episode. We're going to keep trying to do this until we do get it right. Someone's going to help us get us right. It's the Posse. And let's introduce the Posse right now. First, the yin to my yang, Matt from merry old England. Hey, Matt.
Good morning, Moses. How are you?
Oh, Matt, I am spectacular. How are you, sir?
I'm very well. I hope you enjoyed the little basket of English candy chocolate
yes,
that I sent you.
I'm so glad you brought that up. Matt sent me a box of amazing English chocolate, which I've heard so much about. And I have had some of it. It has been fantastic. Matt, the family and I absolutely love you. And we're going to send you some Reese cups in return or something.
You're very welcome. I just thought that if you couldn't get here to England for the game, that I would send a little bit of England to you.
Oh, it's awesome.
Now, I haven't sent any to Dustin or Will because they were obviously both looking after themselves and eating healthily and doing all that good stuff. And I didn't send any to Mark because he already has kidney stones he has to deal with, and nobody wants to give him cholesterol as well. And I can't eat it because of my liver, so that really only left you. And
so I just don't care. So it's great.
Yeah, you are the genuine fat bastard.
Yes, I am the fat bastard. Get
Sounds
in my
fair.
belly.
Yeah.
Thanks for thinking of any of us at all, Matt.
I thought of all of
We
them,
appreciate
but only Dennis could have the chocolate, I'm afraid.
Maybe my favorite part was the name of the box on the outside.
Jolly Good.
Jolly Goods. Jolly Goods. Which, that's amazing.
What do you think of our chocolate? Is it good?
It is good, yes. It's very good.
You know what? One of them needs to be called Kertruffles.
Truffles, kerfuffles.
Kerfuffles for kerfuffle. No, it was very good, Matt. We're very appreciative. Thank you. We still got a lot here. We're kind of pacing ourselves, Sergeant. But we'll get to it. Thanks for the chocolate. That was awesome. Big surprise. It's a true story. My wife is getting packages all the time in the mail. Like, she does a lot of, like, she runs and she does a lot of exercise stuff. She gets a lot of stuff in the mail. So I didn't even look at the package. Package, put it on her side of the table and walked away. And she comes in from work an hour later. She goes, "Here's a package for you." And I'm like, "What? I wasn't expecting anything."
I don't get packages.
I don't get packages. All right. Someone who might get packages is our news hound, Will. Hi, Will.
Hi, Moses. How are you?
Wonderful. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Got up on the roof earlier to blow off all the pine needles and did not fall to my death, so things are looking up.
The kids appreciate that, and we do too. Well, I'm glad you're safe and sound.
And back on solid ground.
And back on solid ground, yes. Someone else who's always on solid ground, and that is our friend Dustin. Hi, Dustin.
And that's because I can't jump very high.
That 2-inch vertical.
Yeah.
Get you every time.
It's safer on the ground.
Yeah. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Ready to talk about a great win from last week. And
The
someone
Seahawks
else.
won?
I think so. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
And then the man behind enemy lines, of course, our own stats man, Mark. Mark, how are you, buddy?
How you doing, buddy?
All right. How about you?
I'm doing well. You know, it's funny. I look out the window and we just finished Halloween recently, as we all know, and there's still an orange glow in the air north of me. And then I finally figured it's not anything Halloween related. It's the world's biggest dumpster fire that is the Oakland Raiders, and it's just burning completely out of control. Even though the game was here at Levi. I mean, man,
yeah.
I'm telling you, it's like
Wow.
I'm not a professional, but you can almost bet your paychecks blind people against the Raiders for the remainder of the year.
Yeah, if you lose 34 to
talk
3,
about quitting.
yeah,
I mean, how else do you chalk this up?
just amazing. It was a loss of biblical proportions on Thursday night. Raiders lose 34 to 3 to a 1-7 San Francisco team with a quarterback who has not been on an active roster yet. So this, I think you might want to pack it in if that happens. But
I mean, my God.
Yeah. But anyway, you mentioned it was Halloween. I have a quick Halloween story to share, and then we'll go on with the show. I was giving out candy to the trick-or-treaters, and there's this little boy, could have been more 3 or 4, and I was giving out Kit Kats, but of course, the fun-size Kit Kats, like, they're not even like a whole Kit Kat or Kit or Cat or whatever you want to call it. You know, the Kit Kat comes with 4 usually, and this is like half of one. Like it's hardly half of a Kit Kat. I don't know if you call that a kit or a cat, but it's just like a little tiny thing. So I was given 2 out, right? I give this little boy 2, and he looks at me and he smiles. And we've got a pretty long driveway, and his parents are at the end of the driveway. He runs full speed down the driveway, giggling as loud as he could. And I'm like, when's the last time I could be that happy about Kit Kats? Or just think about that. When have we been able to be that just over the moon because you have a Kit Kat?
I don't think I've ever been. Well,
no.
When was the last time I was that happy about getting 2 fingers rather than 4? I can't remember.
Oh boy. Hey, Matt. What would you do for a Klondike bar?
Yikes! No!
Don't answer that.
All
I
right.
would invoice you.
We're gonna start the show at that point. But before we do that, I do have a quick apology. I mentioned on last week's show, if anybody was listening, that during the third period, the Seahawks and Lions game was at 4 p.m. Eastern time and not 1 p.m. Eastern time. Luckily, Jose Rodriguez actually listens to the show,
Jose.
spotted that error to share with me. Of course, none of the posse did at the time.
Does that mean that Jose is now quality
was
control
one?
checker for the show? Is he our quality
Yeah,
control man?
he's our fact check. I appreciate it, Jose.
When he
Keep up
sees
the good
quality,
work.
he tries to control it.
Which I'm just excited somebody was listening in the third quarter. That to me, that was great. So thanks, Jose, for pointing that out. And I promise I checked the time this time. I promise you I have the right times from now on. Besides, if you're relying on me and this show to tell you when the game time is, you might want to expand your information gathering just a little bit. Just saying.
Fair enough.
Or much of
All right.
anything, in all honesty.
Yeah, amen. Exactly. All right, let's get to it now. Fergie?
Let's get it started in here.
Yes, this show is run like a real NFL football game. We have 4 quarters and a halftime. First quarter, will catch us up on NFL news. Quarter 2, we will recap that win over the Lions from last Sunday, whatever time it was. Halftime, it is the best Seahawk-themed trivia game on the internet. I refer, of course, to 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia
Of the world.
of the world. Matt was our champion last week.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get your trophy? You ordered it.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Added to the whole collection. I've got a whole room now. Just
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to have an extra room.
Pretty
added on.
much.
Quarter 3, we're going to go over injuries, weather, and fashion, and numbers for the game leading up to Sunday's matchup between the Seahawks and the Chargers. And I'll withhold the time for excitement. Quarter 4, we'll put all together our predictions, our prognostications, and game balls for that very game. Before we start, please like, share, subscribe to Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Join our Facebook group, 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We do a lot of fun stuff on there. We recently had a jib jab battle, which was pretty funny. Also on Twitter and email. Look for the downloadable podcast of this very show on iTunes and Podbean. Take it with you. Listen to a quarter. Go drive, get something to eat. Listen to the second quarter. Just take us with you wherever you go. All right, let's get to the first quarter and news. Yes, news from around the NFL with our News Sound Will, brought to you by this week's sponsor, the Michael Dixon Balls of Steel exercise video. Need balls of steel? Let an Aussie show you how to get them. Michael Dixon's Foot of Steel video sold separately. Will, what you got for us?
Well, Moses, if you have watched any Monday Night Football games this year, you know that they have kind of an interesting setup. In addition to the 2 men in the booth, they've got sideline reporter Booger McFarland
Yeah.
on an elevated moving platform that he can use to go back and forth from one end of the field to the other while commenting.
Oh, brother.
Well, the Booger Mobile has been modified.
Sorry, Boogermobile.
For the previous 7 weeks, they had a monitor on the back of behind McFarland, so that if it's blocking any fans, and judging by the uproar, it has been blocking many fans. Supposedly, they could just watch the game on the monitor, like you could do at home
For free,
have to
yeah.
pay a couple $100. But the problem with that is anybody who's seen footage of a game while at a game knows that the so-called live feed is several seconds behind what's actually happening on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So the monitor really isn't helping. So they have removed it, but in its place, they have put a plexiglass shield on the back of the Boogermobile, presumably to keep fans who are frustrated for not being able to see the action from showing it by pelting Booger with several objects. So, all in all, I'd have to say that this experiment from ESPN really isn't working very well.
Hey guys, I got an idea. Okay, so check it out. We get a 300-pound huge lineman, former lineman, because linemen are known first off for their intelligence. Let's start there. We get a lineman because he knows so much about football. And we put him in this big device to block everyone behind him. And he talks about the game that they can't see. What do you think?
Brilliant. The thing, every
Perfect.
time I see that thing, it reminds me of that movie Gremlins and that the chair that the lady had on her banner to
That
go
was
up the
crazy.
stairs.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Gremlins.
Just reminds me of one of
Wow.
those.
Well, I love they've had to put plexiglass shield on. It sounds like it's like the old Cleveland bottle game.
Oh, that's awesome,
Remember?
isn't it? That's brilliant. I that is like, every time I see him, I roll my eyes. He's just like, he's like some guy that just showed up half drunk from the tailgate that's going to tell us about the game, what we already know. Well, you know, he's
But
throwing
still
the ball
better than
really
Jason
well.
Witten.
He's throwing the ball well because they're open. Oh, okay. Thanks a lot for the insight. You know, Booger has added nothing to this game, and
But I have to say, if I had travelled all that way, though, let's put it this way: let's say I've come from Britain and I've gone to watch a game, and all I can see is the back end of him.
Oh,
I'm going to be throwing the person next to me at him. Screw the bottles. I'm just going to pick up the next fan and throw him at him.
yeah, no doubt.
That'd be good target practice for sure. Try and catch it at different spots as he's going by.
I see Philadelphia turn that into a video game.
Try to steal the T-shirt cannon and go to town.
Oh my God, that'd be awesome.
That'd be amazing.
Needless to say, Booger needs to be picked. All right, what else you got for us, Will?
Well, speaking of throwing things, Moses, you may remember a news story I did several weeks ago talking about how police were cracking down on a Buffalo Bills tailgating tradition wherein fans would pick each other up and slam each other through tables.
Well, I can say with quite confidence that unlike some people on this show, I actually do listen to the show. And yes, I do remember that story.
Well, that tradition may have died down, but there's a new tradition taking hold every time the Bills play the Patriots in Buffalo. It started back in 2016 when a fan threw a dildo onto the field
I remember that.
with
You brought that
Brady's
in, too.
dildo written on it.
Yeah, you brought that in too.
I did. Well, it turns out that this has spawned a tradition because it happened last year, and this year at least 3 dildos were spotted being thrown onto the field. However, authorities are cracking down on this tradition too, unfortunately. 34-year-old Michael Abdallah was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct for allegedly throwing one of the dildos onto the field during the game last Monday night. And he spent the night in jail before pleading not guilty and was released on a $1,000 bail bond. So,
Wow.
feel free to participate, but just know you could have them end up on the most embarrassing story of cops ever.
Do you remember?
Yeah,
Go
the
ahead,
key
Mark.
is if it's under 6 inches, is it a misdemeanor? Or at what point is it deciding it's a...
I don't know. The size does matter, I'm sure.
Oh my God! I keep thinking of the
Here
Tom
comes the
Hanks
judge.
movie. The Tom Hanks movie, the movie. What was it? League of Their Own? Where is it?
Yeah.
All right.
There's no dildo throwing in football. You don't throw dildos
apparently
in
there is.
football.
I wish more people would do it because they can't throw everybody out.
Like an unspartacus moment.
He may have gotten off with a warning if he had it addressed to Brady's wife. That was,
Oh my God!
Oh, God.
sorry.
Oh my God!
Put his wife's name on there. You forgot this.
Oh man!
Left it at my place.
Oh, Giselle will kick all your butts. Giselle, that's not me. That's them. So when you write in, make sure that it's Dustin and Mark that get that message. All right. Oh man. Those were fantastic. Thank you so much.
Anytime, Moses.
All right, that's the end of the first quarter.
It's the end of the first quarter, bitches.
Coming up on this special Chargers edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam show, halftime trivia, weather, fashion, injuries, numbers galore. But next, we take a look back at last Sunday's win over those Lions, and we'll do that right after this.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
If there's a better use for the internet, I haven't found it.
Holy shit, it's the second quarter.
No, Matt, seriously. I mean, I don't know if you can actually ship those from England and get them to a football game to be thrown on the field. I don't think that's possible.
It's not the
Not
it's
legally,
the shipping
anyway.
That's the problem. It's
No.
the packaging that's the problem.
Well, that's true. Because
What
then
kind
you
of
got to get it
tariff
through.
would be on it?
Right, and you've got to get through. Oh, hey, welcome back. I'm sorry. Welcome back to the second quarter of your 12-Man Fan Jam show. We didn't see you listening there. All this is no charge to you, of course. It's the second quarter. It's time to look back at the Seahawks win over the Lions last week, 28-14. And I have my fact checker check this out. And yes, we did win 28-14. So
Nice.
We'll start with Will. Will, give us something that you thought was really good coming out of that game for the Seahawks, besides the score, obviously.
Well, I'm going to skip some of the more obvious things. You know, it's great to see the running game, and Wilson was literally perfect. He had the perfect passer rating.
Yeah.
I'm going to point out one thing I really enjoyed is we didn't let Golden Tate have any big plays against us, and got to watch Bobby Wagner just pound him every single time he caught the ball. And I made a comment to the effect of, man, Bobby Wagner does not like Golden Tate. And he actually put something on his Instagram, a picture of him tackling Tate with the caption, "This win was golden." So I think I might be right. But, you know, Golden Tate is an amazing player, but he's kind of a douche. So anytime I get to see somebody hit him, I enjoy it.
Yeah. Bobby seemed to have a lot of fun tackling Golden Tate. That's sure. Golden Tate then this week was traded to Philadelphia. So what's it?
Did he give a hometown discount?
He might have. I don't know. We'll have to see.
I don't.
Hey.
Do you remember anyone who's listening, and anyone that's listening, to be fairly honest, we do
Either of you.
anyone.
Yeah, so he's not talking
do a
to
game
anybody
day
on the pod.
thread. we do a game day thread on Facebook. So on game days, you can always come and join us on game day.
Yes,
on Facebook for the thread. But we were saying, and there was the face mask call against Golden, and he was like, trying to rub his eye, and was like, oh, you hurt me, type of thing.
Yeah.
And both me and Dennis were at the same time like, I'm not even mad. I'm
I'm
mad
like,
at that call.
face mask like Golden. I don't even care.
I'm not even mad about that.
I'm not even mad about that. They got 15 yards of first down. I don't even care. It was like 20 at that point. It's 28-7 too. So I'm not even mad. And then I wrote that, Matt, come on, face mask. I don't care. I said, I know we don't care.
I know, nobody cares. Do it
Matt,
again.
hey Matt, what else did you see in that game that was really nice?
We'll cover it. I mean, for me, it was the spread, the run game, and the perfect passer for Russ. It just seemed so controlled. We were in control of that game. I think there's a little wobble at the beginning because obviously they ran down the field and got that 7 points in the first quarter. And I think I said as well on Facebook, don't worry, it's just bye-week blues. We're not warmed up yet. We're not there yet, but we'll be there in a second. It's going to be fine. I had no fear throughout the whole of this game.
Which is amazing because they were a good team. They're 3-3. They've won their last couple games. They're at home. Yeah. But
I had absolutely no fear at any point in this game. It was the most relaxed game I think I've watched for a very long time. Where I'm like, no, we got this. It's fine. Absolutely fine.
Yeah, I agree. Mark, what about you?
Well, I mean, this is one of those games where, of course, at the end of one, it was 7-0, but 21-7 at halftime. It's just nice to be able to breathe a little bit, and you can't count it as a win at that point. But, I don't know. I mean, the running game, it never gets old talking about it. It's just, It's so refreshing. I mean, Carson was it a 7-yard? Was he out 7 yards? We just went right up the middle.
I think so. That touchdown. It was 7. It was more than 5 and less than 10, but it was 7 or 8.
So, and he had 105, a 4.2 average.
Yeah.
Yes, I do have the stats in front of me.
Yeah, stats man, Mark.
Not from memory, but and clearly the other thing too, and I guess maybe this is the plan going forward, but I mean, Carson, 25 carries. Next one was Davis with 10. I mean, it seems like he's, getting the lion's share.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
He
of the carries. And
well, I think it was a hot hand too.
And I'm wondering, well, for sure. I'm just wondering, I don't know, it would have been interesting. I don't know how much Penny got in. Did he?
I don't think he got in much at all.
No.
2 special teams plays.
But you know what? I mean, he disappears one game, and the next game he gets carries. I don't know if they're just kind of trying to budget that through the whole year or what? But
Right. But
yeah, that's a good
Carson
point.
clearly is the guy. Davis does a good job too.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And yeah, Benny has too, really. So, Dustin, what's your thoughts? Something positive.
I really like the just the efficiency of the offense overall. I mean, Russell only threw 17 passes, but he completed almost all of them, and one of them was a throwaway, one was a drop. So I mean, and one goal or Doug Baldwin didn't get both his feet in the end zone. So it's hard to be more accurate than he was. And the offense just kept going. It was on time. Everybody was doing their job. It was after the frustrations we've had the last couple of years watching that offense. It was really, really nice to see them actually perform and be as efficient as they was. Because man, that's it's a beautiful thing when they do it.
It sure is. There's no doubt about that. So I'll just stay here. What kind of things did you not? Was there something? Well, I'll say something first. You guys will talk about Russell and his efficiency, and I think to me that was the biggest thing. But how about Moore? How great was Moore? I mean, honestly. Yeah. And I called him on the thing. I called him Magic Moore. So
nice.
Yeah, but Magic Moore was amazing, and he's done a great job at wide receiver. In fact, so well that they were able to release Brandon Marshall out into the wild this week. So that was a good sign. But Dustin, what's something that you think they need to work on still?
I'd say it's probably lack of experience, but Tedrick Thompson was out of position a few times and actually cost us that first touchdown, if I remember right. It got thrown over his head.
True.
You can't let that guy get behind him. He's a safety that he has to stay in front of you the entire time. And, he's going to have bumps and, along the way with this, but he definitely had a couple of learning opportunities that he can take away from that game.
I agree. Will, what about you?
Well, Moses, as much as I love the end result of what turned out to be Michael Dixon's fake punt,
that was a mess.
I sure as hope he never does that again out of our own end zone. I mean, I just picture him coming over to the sidelines, and it's like that scene in Major League when Wesley Snipes makes the basket catch, Willie Mays style.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He comes over to the dugout, and the manager's like, "Nice catch, Hayes. Don't ever blanket do it again."
Yep.
And I kind of hope that message got across because,
I think so.
If that you look at the replay, he had plenty of room and whatnot, but if he'd been stopped short or if he'd gotten hurt or there's all sorts of things, and it worked out great. I loved it. Just don't do that again. At least not at that point in the field.
It was so great. Back on the game thread again, we had this moment like, okay, kicker, you punter, you've got to get it, 60 odd yards down the field. Let's see a Magic Dixon kick. Got to clear it out. And all of a sudden there's this pause and there's all these gifs like, all that. Yeah, you could do that too.
I said Dixon needs to punt we need a good 60-plus yard punt from Dixon here. And then there was a pause. I go, or 10. 10 yards is fine. Just go 10. That's fine.
10 is fine.
10's fine. Just go 10.
Moses, funny story about that. I was watching the game with Neil Hart, Kiltman. And if Dixon had done what he was supposed to do, just run around, eat up time, and take the safety, the score would have been 28-16. He had entered a contest with a local pizza joint, and that was the exact score that he had predicted. So if Dixon had done that, and we had held Detroit kept Detroit from scoring anymore, he would have won a free pizza.
Dixon,
all things considered, he was okay with it, but Michael Dixon did cost him a pizza.
When I come up to Seattle, I'll be buying him a pizza. I'll do that for him.
Holmgren was on the radio this week, and he was talking about what he thought about that play. And he said he would have been just so mad if a player had done that. He's like, I would have been happy at the result, but when he came back to the sideline, he would have had to avoid me. He wouldn't want to
do that again.
Yeah, I heard that too. That was great.
Hey, Matt, is there anything else that you think they need to work on?
Well, you got to score in. You've got 4 quarters to score in, and we didn't score in 2 of them, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
So I think you've got to keep that pressure on. The opening drive was 8 plays for what's the stat now? 31 yards. 5 minutes came off the clock for a punt. No, we shouldn't do that in the first quarter.
And it got a little chippy there at the end because they were coming back. Yeah. Good point. Mark?
Well, again, it's hard to complain about anything. I thought we had more than 2 sacks in this game. That's what I'm seeing on the stat on the box score.
He was hurried somewhat, and the idea was to hurry his throws, as they
Right,
said
which
in
is
the
just
mic
as
up.
effective. And
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that you see, and again, it's splitting what's left of my hair, is that Marvin Jones, on receiving wise, again, I don't know how much of this was garbage time. 7 catches, 117 yards. That's a heck of an average. But you know what?
Well, he had the 2 big touchdowns.
Yeah, he had 2 big catches.
Yeah, and 2 touchdowns. So, I mean, again, this game on the road, any road victory is a quality win.
Amen.
And
I actually think his performance.
I live in an area where I'm reminded constantly what a horrible franchise is like.
Yeah.
Dustin?
Anyway.
I was saying, I think his performance was a big part of the reason why they felt comfortable trading Golden Tate. In all honesty,
I'm sure.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah.
Played
pretty well.
Something I wanted to end with, and I'm not gonna go with the negative. If you get a chance to get on YouTube and see the mic'd up, and they did the mic'd up game for the Seahawks and the Lions, and I watched this, and I had said a few weeks ago something that seemed to be missing from this team. They were kind of tense. There wasn't a lot of joy, a lot of happiness, a lot of bouncing around. I'm completely changed on that after watching the mic'd up version of the Lions. This team, and we talked about this coming together on the road. They've had to. It's them against the world. They had to come together and become a team. I saw a team, and I mean offense root for defense, defense root for offense, talking about plays, and Solari's getting in Effetti's line. So at one point, Solari leans down and he says, when he does that, knock him on his ass, is what exactly he said to Effetti. I mean, this
Good
guy
coaching.
is coach. Yes, he's coaching them. And he's really, I mean, just the whole vibe of the team after watching that mic'd up is so 2012. I hate to say it, but there it is. The whole vibe. It's a team. These guys are young. They're hungry. They don't know they're not supposed to be this good. And they're just going out and executing and having a great time. And I'm taking back what I said about they're not having any fun. They're having a ball right now.
Moses, the last play for me, it's when it really hit me was because I forget who it was, but the ball came loose and there was ruled down by contact. Game was over. Everybody knew that. But one of our guys recovered. They all start running in the end zone, and then they're just lateraling back to one another.
Yes,
it's just like kids playing on a playground.
Exactly. It's just, but to me, this team has become a team on the road, and now 6 of 9, next 9 at home, can only help them.
Did you guys catch Tyler Lockett's touchdown celebration?
Yeah.
That was fun.
The amazing Robin Ventura, Nolan Ryan recreation. Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
That was great. It's funny to see Russell Wilson come in and act like he was hitting somebody. I bet he's never done that before in his life.
I know.
All right, let's go to 2-minute warning.
Holy shit, it's a 2-minute warning.
Let's check in our Posse Prediction Challenge. We have something special that happened in the Posse Prediction Challenge we'll talk about here. First, the scores last week. The score was 28-14. Little Mo gets 3 points. He had 27-14. So 3 for the Lions score and 1 for best score. Jose gets 3 for having 28 for the Seahawks. Prognostication, Little Mo, over 100 yards rushing for the Seahawks, and Statsman Mark for 2 touchdown passes for Wilson. Game ball, a point to Little Mo and Moses for Wilson. A point Mark Ty Turner and Dustin for Carson. The over and under was under. So a point to Little Mo, Mark Ty Turner, Mike Pascal, Statsman Mark, Will, Dustin, Moses. What's that mean? Well, let me point this out. Little Mo had 27-14. He was off by 1 point, 28-14. He got his prognostication. He got his game ball. He was 1 point away from a perfect score. Little Mo, 7 points. Jose, 3. Statsman Mark, 2. Dustin, 2. Moses, 2. Will, 1. Mark Ty Turner, 1. Mike Pascal, 1. Individual scores after 7 games look like this. Guess who's on top? Little Mo, our 12, soon to be 13-year-old in 5 days. Wow. 16, Mike Pascal 14, Mark Ty Turner 13, and then Will, Statsman Mark, Dustin, and Moses all tied at 12. Jose at 11.
We are 12.
We are. Tom at 10, Matt at 9. The scores going into this week after 7 games, team scores, Team 12 65, Team Posse 56. We're within 9 points. We can catch them. We just got to have somebody do what Little Mo did this week. So.
You could always ground him so he can't answer.
There you go.
What'd you say? 34-9? I'll put that down. No.
What was the largest deficit? Excuse me.
The largest deficit, score-wise?
Yeah, for this whole season between us and Team 12.
Oh, we were down by a lot. We were down by double digits.
It was
we started
20.
off pretty well.
Yeah, it was like 20 or 10, and then we pulled within 4, and now they pulled up within 9, but we're still within a shot here.
Mm-hmm.
So, in that case, let's go to halftime.
Holy shit, it's halftime!
Coming up, we have so much more show. Are fun-sized actually an accurate amount of fun? If you have one Kit Kat, is it a kit or a cat? Is a $100,000 bar actual legal tender? All these answers and more coming just around the corner, but first, another fine edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia, and that's coming up next!
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Yes, it's halftime, and welcome to another fun-filled edition of the best play-along Seahawk-themed trivia game show on the internet. It's time for 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. And here's your host, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity. Yes, thank you, me, and welcome to another fine edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia
of the world.
The trivia game that tests the knowledge of both our posse and our listeners. Our contestants are the posse themselves, Dustin, Statsman Mark, Matt, and Will. And here are the rules. So here's how the trivia game works. There'll be 2 rounds of questions. Each contestant answers 1 question each round. If they get it correct, they get 1 point. After 2 rounds of questions, there'll be a final trivia question worth 2 points. If there's a tie after that, then the tie players go on to a special secret overtime question where the winner becomes reigning 12-Man Fan Jam Show Trivia Champion and also gets a prize chosen especially for them. As an added bonus to those listening on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel, the questions and possible answers will be displayed on your screen so you, the viewer and listener, can play along as well. If you do, please let us know how you did on the questions. Remember, there's no Googling, no phone a friend, and please, no wagering. However, there is a lifeline. Before taping this show, my 2 charming Seahawk fan children, Mosette and Little Mo, did take the quiz as well. If the contestants want to know what the kids said, they can ask that but once and only once during the entire game show and only in the first 2 rounds. Now let's get ready to play 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia.
Thank you, William Shatner.
Okay, you all know the rules. Kids took the quiz, as always. You can ask them once for the first 2 rounds. Matt was our champion last week. The topic is the Chargers and the Seahawks, of course. There are 3 questions about the Chargers and the Seahawks and 1 question that isn't quite about the Chargers and the Seahawks. Matt, 1, 2, 3, or 4?
2, please.
Matt says 2. Dustin,
4.
1, 3, 4. Will.
1.
And that mean Mark get 3. Mark get 3.
That means we.
Man, play quiz.
Get voucher for. Okay, never mind.
Gronk won't play 2.
All right. Will, you play game. All right, well, here you go. Your question is about Chargers, not the Seahawks at all. How many Charger players are inducted into the Hall of Fame?
If you make your bed every morning.
But if you make your bed every morning, I don't know what's going on.
What's
going on?
Sorry.
I don't know. I was trying to figure out what that meant in regards to the question. I wasn't sure.
Are you putting subliminal messages in this stuff?
No. Okay, here's the question. How many
I'm making my bed.
How many Charger players are inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame? I mean it this time. Yeah, there's music. How many Charger players are inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame? 6, 7, or 8? 6, 7, or 8 Charger players inducted into Pro Football Hall of Fame. These would be guys that played almost exclusively for the Chargers. 6, 7, or 8.
Okay.
I can only think of 2.
I'm going to go with 7, and for the record, I did forget to make my bed this morning. So.
Okay, well, go make your bed. 7. Mosette says 6. Little Mo said 6. You said 7. I'm sorry. It's 8. Allworth, Dean, Fouts, Joyner, Mix, Winslow, Sayal, and Tomlinson. Mix is the only one I didn't know, but that's from way back. So, all right.
Okay.
Matt. The last time the Seahawks beat the Chargers in Seattle was 2010. How many turnovers did the Chargers have in that game? 4, 5, or 6? How many turnovers? 4, 5, or 6 for the Chargers?
Elton has got 2.
Listen to you.
Leon Washington got those 2 kickoff returns.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
You'll know
That was
why-
Oh man, Leon
that was a
Washington.
motherland
Wow,
game for Seahawks Blue.
that's a name.
What an incredible game that was, if memory serves. Give me the options again.
4, 5, or 6.
I'll go with. I'll go with 4.
4. Little Mo says
Mhm.
5. Mosette said 6. You said 4. I'm sorry.
No.
It was 6. Yeah, 6
It was
turnovers.
6.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Am I-
yeah.
Wow.
Were you at that game, Matt?
Was I at the game? No, I was ironing at the time, listening to it on radio.
Okay. I was trying to remember. I thought maybe that was the game where the first time I met you was that weekend. I guess not.
No,
That
it was
Patriots,
2012.
Yeah, Patriots.
Well,
Patriots
okay.
game.
Okay,
Mad
Mark.
game.
The last time the Chargers beat the Seahawks in Seattle was 2006. How many times was Matt Hasselbeck sacked in that game? 4, 5, or 6?
How many times was he what now?
Sacked. What did I say? Sucked?
It kind of sounded
How many
like
times was Matt
Oh.
Hasselbeck
That changes
sacked
everything.
in that game? 4, 5, or 6?
Hats on his bag.
Let's see.
Carry the one.
I'll go 5.
You'll go 5?
Yep.
Little Mo went 4. Mosette went 5. You went 5. 6 times you was
Damn.
down. 6 times. All right. Dustin. Nobody's got a point yet, so there's no pressure.
I'll
The
probably
last
fit
time,
right in.
the last time the Chargers beat the Seahawks in Seattle, that's the last time the Seahawks beat the Chargers in San Diego. 2002, and if I remember right, that is the infamous "you hit like a girl" play that
Yep.
Hasselbeck. Yeah, okay. They came back and won in overtime. How long was Ryan Lindell's game-winning overtime field goal? 24, 34, or 44 yards?
These names are awesome.
Ryan Lindell.
Ryan Lindell.
24, 34, or 44. How long was this game-winning field goal in overtime?
Say whatever the middle one was.
Well, the middle one's 34. Is that what you want?
Yeah, I'll go that.
Okay. Mosette said 34. Lobo said 44. You said 34. That's 24. It was a chip shot.
Oh,
Well, okay, guys. Let's see as we go into the next round.
It's a 4-way tie.
Nobody gets a
That's already
point. So, Matt, 5, 6, 7, or 8.
6, please.
Okay. Dustin, 5, 7, 8.
Doesn't matter the way we're answering.
No,
Okay. I'll say 8.
let's say 8. Will.
7.
All right. Mark's going to lead us off in the second round here. Mark, the last time the Seahawks lost to the Chargers in San Diego was 2014. Remember that game? I remember that game.
so the heat wave.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Ooh,
How many touchdown passes did Philip Rivers throw in that game? 2, 3, or 4? How many did he throw? 2, 3, or 4?
well, that's it. Well, no, of course, our
That's it.
defense was solid. 2014. 2, 3, or 4. I'm gonna say 2.
He's going to say 2. Mosette said 3. Mo said 4. You said 2. No, just 3. And they were all to Gates, Antonio Gates, by the way. He had 3 touchdowns. Yeah.
That was really pissing me off, too.
Well, and that's funny because when I asked Little Mo, he goes, I know Gates caught 3, but so he went ahead and went with 4 because he thought maybe it was the next one he didn't know about. Matt.
Yes.
In 1981, the AFC Championship game was between the Bengals and the Chargers. And it was in
Right.
Cincinnati. It was a little cold. A little cold. What was the wind chill? Oh, it's Fahrenheit too, so deal with that. What was the wind
This is
chill?
perfect.
Oh my
Was it-
goodness.
Was it minus 39 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 49 degrees Fahrenheit, or minus 59 degrees Fahrenheit? How cold was it at 81? Bengals and Chargers.
Nice.
Wish I got that one. I knew this one.
I remember watching that game.
I did too.
That's cold. I mean, minus
Yeah.
18 in Fahrenheit. That's proper.
Yes.
That's proper. Right. Well, I'll ask the kids because, to be fairly honest,
Okay.
I'm going to need to ask the kids because
Yeah, okay.
I have no idea how to do the conversions.
Little Mo said minus 39, and Mosette said minus 59.
Well, if it was, minus 59 must be like. I'm trying to work out what that is in centigrade, and the only answer that's coming back is cold. So
Yeah.
I'll go minus 59. I'll go with
We'll go
Mosette.
with the cold one.
Well, it must be the cold. I mean, it's cold.
Divided
It
by
is.
3 or something like that.
Is
to go
it?
from
Hey,
degrees
guess
to-
what? You got it!
No,
Minus-
that's cold.
59. That's how the wind chill. Can you
Man.
imagine?
Did they have like? I'm not being funny, but did they not even attempt like obviously the crowd is there. For like
San
3
Diego,
hours.
apparently, the rumor is that San Diego tried to have it postponed, but Cincinnati said, no, we're playing it now. And they beat them 27-0. Yeah.
There's a crowd there that's got to sit in the cold for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they played on AstroTurf, so
Yes.
you know
That's
that was
concrete,
pretty much
basically.
concrete.
That's very true.
concrete.
Very
Oof.
true. All right, Will.
Yes, sir.
How many times have the Seahawks shut out the Chargers? Once, twice, or 3 times a lady? How many times have the How many times have the Seahawks shut out the Chargers? 1, 2, or 3?
Well, I can't ignore a musical performance like that, no matter how
Thank
hard
you.
I try.
Thank
So
you
I'm
so
gonna
much.
I'm gonna go with 3.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Oh, no, stop. No,
Amazing.
don't applaud. Just throw money. All right.
Throw
You're going with what?
something.
Yeah. You said, which one are you going with?
A 3.
3 because of my musical prowess. Mosette went with 3, but she did not sing. She doesn't know that song. Lil Mo went with 1. You went with 3. No, he shut him out once, 1984.
Ah.
Yeah. So, Dustin,
Yeah.
what are the most points the Seahawks have ever scored against the Chargers ever in a game? 42, 45, or 49?
42, 45, or 49.
You're right. It's one of those. Well done.
Thank you. I'm feeling optimistic. I'll say 49.
Well, it's funny you say, Mosette and Lil Mo were feeling optimistic too, and they also said 49. You all said 49. You can't be all wrong, can you?
I hope not.
No, you're not. You're right.
Nice. Good deal.
Yeah, well done. Okay.
My score was starting to feel like
What-
that
what
Cincinnati.
year was that?
1985.
Yeah.
Wow.
Was that like what 49-45 or something? I remember
It
that
was like
game.
49-35 or something. It was yeah. It was a high score.
1985.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it was a crazy game.
That's a lot
That
of
was,
points for
that
back
was the
then.
beginning of Dave Craig, or early days of Dave Craig.
Early Dave Craig, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, let's see. We have 2 answers right out of 8, and it's time for our final question.
We're so bad.
We're killing.
Question.
Final question. Here we go.
I don't
Y'all
even
are
feel
so
that we deserve
excited.
that fanfare. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like
Just
It
the
was great
sad trombone
fanfare.
from Price
yeah.
is Right.
Yeah, I should have. Dun, dun, ta-da. Okay, the winner. Here's what we guys get. The final question.
That's pretty
The final
good.
question is a number right on cue. High or low, whoever's the closer without going over gets 2 points and is crowned 12-man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia champion for this episode. The order will go. Mark will go first. Will will go second. Matt will go third, and Dustin will Price is Right somebody. I have a feeling.
That sounds good.
All right, here we go. Here's your question.
Actually,
We're
who
all
had the other
screwed,
point?
fellas.
We'll see what kind of
Yeah.
benchmark I set.
Hold on, hold
Yeah.
on. Wait, hey, Dennis, hold on.
Yeah,
Who? I'm tied with somebody points-wise, right? Who is it?
Matt,
So Matt should have the last say because he's the returning champ, right?
are you giving your spot to him? Okay.
That should be the order. It
Wow.
should be me then Matt.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dustin is such a gentleman.
I don't know. I'm just expecting the punchline to come out any moment. But
Congratulations,
no.
Dustin.
it's still
Dustin
managed
for
to
being a
somehow.
gentleman. You know, well, I was giving it
This
because
makes
you
me
got
feel
the
all
point
warm
last,
and
but
squishy.
you know what a gentleman Dustin is. So the new order: Mark first, Will second, Dustin third, and Matt fourth. You heard it here first, folks. Dustin,
Where's
the
the
gentleman.
catch? I just want to know where the catch is.
No, that's just. It seems like that's the way to do it for the returning champ.
And you know what, Dustin? Dustin, I just want you to know we're all rooting for you now. Okay, here we go.
Thanks.
No, we're
Matt.
not.
I'm not.
Dustin, I just texted you the answer, so look at your. Okay. All right. Here's the question, Mark. The Seahawks have played the Chargers 50 times. 50 times.
Wow.
Or 50.
Whoa.
How many total points have the Seahawks scored against the Chargers all time?
Wow.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Get
I know the
calories out,
answer.
boys.
Mother.
50 times.
Okay, well, luckily I
50.
can do math relatively well. And for the sake of keeping the show moving, I am going to go 1,039 points.
Did you say the show's moving?
Moving. It's groovy, baby.
The show is moving, baby. Okay. Will?
I will go 1,163.
0.2.
You guys got like 63.4578.
Yeah, that's right off the calculator.
That's all I love about it. All right, here's where we're at, Dustin. That 1,035 and 1,163. 50 games.
The correct answer is 1,049.
Okay. Matt?
Well, I think you're a little. I don't know. I think you're high. So I'll go.
Hey, how'd you know?
You're all high. You're all high. So I'm going to go 1,038.50.
Oh, no.
1,038. All right. Well, I think somebody's cheating. I'm just going to call it.
Wow.
There's no way you know this off the top of your head. There's
Yeah,
no
I do.
way. No. There's no way you know.
I always memorize two things going in. I don't want to tell my
Hey,
strategy.
well, let me ask you this. How come you know I'm talking to you?
Because I said the correct answer is.
Ooh.
The answer, by the way, is 1,049 on the button.
Wow. Well, if there was an assist stat, I would get an assist for setting the benchmark. So,
And yet,
I got Dennis's test.
I feel the gentleman is duping us. I feel Thundercats here is duping the show. I think we're being bamboozled here.
All right, so these are things I always look at every time we do this. I always look at the all-time record with the teams, and I always look at what the scores are all-time combined for every game. So I always know those going into the show. just
So
in case you ask those questions.
okay. Wait. So how many? Now, off the top of your head, then, how many points did the Chargers score in 50 times?
1,042.
Yeah. All right. Dustin's our champion. It's been ruled.
Amazing.
The
This is
drug
what
test
happens
has
when
come
you do
back
research,
negative.
folks.
Congratulations, Dustin.
Thank you.
Before every game, do your research. Do you know what I do before we do this podcast? I get a cup of tea.
Cup of tea. That's your
Cup of
research.
tea, and I'm done.
Amazing. And this has been an amazing, unbelievable, award-winning, record-setting edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia.
Of the world.
We'll be right back after this.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Holy shit, it's the third quarter.
All right, I'll remember that because I'll never do that again.
Yeah.
You know,
I'll
Moses,
go back.
well,
and look at
Moses,
Well,
I can't help but remember that you had joked earlier about sending Dustin the final
too.
answer, and then he just happens to get the correct answer.
I
so.
know.
with confidence.
Hey, it's the third quarter of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. Hey, you! Yes, you getting all charged up for the game. Like, share, subscribe to the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Join our Facebook group, 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We have a great game day thread, as it's been mentioned. We've also got some other goodies on there. Have a lot of fun on that Facebook page. And also, don't forget, you can download us on Podbean or iTunes. Do it now, before Philip Rivers cries again. Oh no, too late! Okay, the third quarter is time to start looking forward to this Sunday game between your Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Chargers in lovely Seattle, Washington. And the game time is 4:05 Pacific time. Or
Eastern.
4:05 Eastern time. 1:05 Pacific time. I looked it up. That's got to be right. All
If
right.
you DVR, game time is whenever you turn it on.
Exactly. Don't take my word for it. Please double check everything you hear on this show. All right. Speaking of that, it's time to see how healthy these teams are by turning to our own doctor, Dr. Dustin, with the 12-Man Fan Jam Show injury report. Dr. Dustin, tell us the news.
Doctor, give me the news.
All right, well, first of all, the game score, or the starting time that Jose gave was wrong for me as well, because I was at a Sounders match, but Seattle Seahawks game till Tuesday about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so that was kickoff for me.
Nice.
Yeah, but we're gonna start with the Chargers here. They have one player is listed as questionable. That's Melvin Gordon, and that's a bunch of BS. He practiced all week. Full practice on Friday. He's going to play, so we got to deal with him.
Yeah.
They have 3 other players that are listed as out, but I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. I assume it's Kaiser White. He's a linebacker, has a knee injury. We got Christopher Landrum, defensive end. He's got a hip injury. And then the one I care about, actually, that's out is Joey Bosa, and he's going to be out, defensive end for them. He's pretty good.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
Yeah, so I'm okay with all that.
I'm okay with that, yeah.
And then to start on a positive for the Seahawks, returning player this week, Rasheem Green.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Pass rush is going to have a little bit of a boost to it, which is
Mhm.
nice. And then for our questionables, we have Bradley McDougald, which a little bit of a surprise. He hurt his knee, I guess, game last week. He came out for a few plays.
He did.
Yeah, I was a little worried about that.
Me
but
too.
I don't think it's related to what happened there. And then Chris Carson has a hip injury. He just came up on the list. It was today or yesterday.
Is that hip?
But
I thought it was a groin injury. Was it hip? Is it?
it was a hip, yeah. But I mean, he's getting popped left and right. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
something I don't like about the way he plays is that when he gets hit and he's pushing forward, he doesn't stay like central and tucked in like Marshawn did. He extends his body out.
Yeah, and that's why he's getting more punishment. They'll probably see more of a 3-headed running attack this week then.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then KJ Wright is out with a knee injury as well.
Out?
Or I'm sorry, questionable. My fault. I thought I'm under questionable still. Yeah, he's got a knee injury. Well,
I think that's the one from before.
I take that back.
Still.
He had a knee injury. He had surgery. Played in his first game, and they gave him some days off, and they're just listing him as questionable.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Not worried.
I fully expect him to play.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Doubtful Jordan Simmons calf. That's pretty non-consequential. That's fine. And then Nico Thorpe is doubtful.
Yeah.
Funny story about that. When Pete Carroll was talking about Nico Thorpe's injury, he's like, "Oh yeah, he's got a little groin."
Don't throw him under the bus like that, Pete. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh my.
That was pretty funny. And then of course CJ ProSize. Expect him to dress.
Who is that exactly?
He came down with a case of Hawaiian cat flu.
Wait.
Yeah. So Hawaiian cat flu. It's a thing. It's a rare disease, only contracted by cats normally. Symptoms include a voracious appetite, a craving for Hawaiian food, listlessness, crankiness, and a compulsion to wear Hawaiian shirts and hula dance. It was first discovered in a Garfield cartoon.
Oh my!
Wow.
Oh, he sneezes like this. He goes, meow, meow. That's how he sneezes.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He
that's awesome.
Came home and broke another chandelier after eating that.
Is that your report, sir?
That's it for the injury report.
That was fantastic. Thank you. Brilliant as always. Oh my gosh, you guys. And also brilliant. Now we have to take a look at what the weather's going to be for the game by turning to a guy living in another country. It's time for the 12-Man Fan Jam Show weather and fashion report with Matt from Merry Old England. Or Matt.
It's raining man.
Yes, thank you, Moses. Do you know this is my first home game weather report of the season?
Wow.
I've not been here for the other two. I was either unwell or away. So this is my first report. So, Moses, it's Seattle. It's November. What do you think it means?
Rain, cold.
No. No rain, actually. No. So apparently global warming, climate change, and developing high pressure from the Pacific is going to bring clear skies and temperatures of 55 degrees Fahrenheit with almost no wind.
Perfect.
So no rain in Seattle, which I think is probably one of the first signs of the end of the world. To be honest.
I agree.
It's up there.
So this is a Seattle home game. This is my first sort of home game of the season, I suppose. So what to wear? Well, a Seahawks jersey of any type is a good choice. Although I can't help suggesting that if you have a retro jersey, maybe a Largent jersey or a Craig jersey, hanging in the closet, give it an airing. Bring it out. Give it an airing at the game. Retro is the new must-have in the world of fashion. So
I'm
get your
wearing a
retro
Cortez
jerseys
Kennedy
out.
one right now, actually, sir.
Fantastic.
Oh.
But as for me, if I was going to this game, well, I would simply wear my home blue 12 jersey and my game beads, because this is the first home game since the sad passing of Mr. Allen. So I can think of no better way to honour his memory than by standing for a whole game wearing a 12 on my chest, surrounded by a 12-man family in a stadium he made, screaming loudly for a team he saved in a city he loved. It's going to be emotional, so bring tissues. Also, Philip Rivers will be there, and he cries a lot and will probably need tissues too. That being said, it looks like it's going to be perfect Seahawks weather. So, Moses, it's back over to you.
Oh, well done. Well done. Thank you so much. A wonderful, wonderful weather and fashion report. And finally, of course, it's the guy that always has our number, the man with numbers and tokens all around him. It's time for Statsman Mark and his 12-man Fan Jam show by the numbers for our game and maybe a couple of teasers, Mark?
Ricky don't lose that number. Ricky don't lose that number. Ricky don't lose that number.
Well, first off, I'm just glad I remembered to unmute my mic because it would just.
That's fantastic.
But the
That's a
lamp has
great
been
start.
burning so brightly tonight. Why spoil
It
it
is.
now?
It is.
So anyway, first off, a miracle happened, and it wasn't the 49ers winning by 31 points. Well, that's a miracle.
That's
kind
pretty
of,
close.
But for the first time ever, I actually went 3-0 on my recommended picks. Now, mind
Congratulations.
you, now
Amazing.
the perfect thing is that I did not put these same teams on a parlay, which would have been a winner. But I still managed to win a little something anyway. So last week's winner said that I had Washington on a pick'em. I can't remember who the heck they played. Was it the Giants?
It was the Giants, yeah.
Okay.
Giants.
The Giants,
Pittsburgh over Cleveland. Pittsburgh -8, and they still covered. And Philadelphia had a jolly good time with the Jaguars, and Philly was only favored by 3, believe it or not.
Yes.
So this week, first off for the Seahawks, that game, the line I think opened at like 1.5. Seattle was favored, and it currently stands at a pick'em. So you can figure with the money, heavy Charger money, but I don't know why they haven't learned. Aren't we? Russell Wilson is 13-0. I think Will or someone maybe read this stat. 13-0 against AFC West teams.
Wow.
Going back since, I don't know.
Nice.
Something like that. Or AFC
That's good to
teams
hear.
in general.
That's
I guess we
good to
wouldn't
hear.
have played the AFC West that many. But anyhow, the over-under is 47.5 for that.
All right. Good. Good deal.
And finally, the games this week for the first time ever, and I believe in our guys. So I'm taking Seattle in the pick'em. The
Nice.
Redskins minus 1.5, hosting Atlanta. When's the last time we even saw any news on the Falcons? They've like disappeared. They set a bye. And this game's crazy because initially the Rams were an underdog by a couple of points. It swung the other way.
Wow.
To where now the Rams are favored by 2, but when I looked at the line, it was Rams plus 2.5. So the Rams are now the favorite, but when I looked earlier in the week when I made this pick, it was they were an underdog. So
Awesome.
good line shopping.
Yes. Well done. Well done. And we want to remind you that these numbers have been presented for entertainment purposes only. The 12-Man Fan Jam Show does not endorse betting on anything at any time. Please don't take these or anything we say, especially the time of the game starting. Don't take anything we say on the show seriously, ever. Thank you so much, gentlemen. And that's the third quarter.
It's the end of the third quarter, bitches.
All right, coming up next, it's our final quarter when we make our predictions, our prognostications, and our game balls for the Chargers game. You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. All the fun, half the calories. We'll be right back.
Hello, everybody. This is Statsman Mark. And when I'm not listening to Charo's greatest hits on 8-track tape, I'm listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show.
Holy shit, it's the fourth quarter.
Oh, yes, it is time for the fourth and final quarter of this episode of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. Now with even more Retson. I don't know what that means, but we have it. In this quarter...
I don't know what that is either.
Don't know what that is.
It's
You
the
might
stuff
not
in
want the
search that
Retson.
makes your breath minty fresh.
Oh, thank you, Will. And yes, and that, so you listen to this show and you'll have fresher breath. In this quarter, we make our game score predictions, prognostications, and of course, game balls for the upcoming game between your Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Chargers. A 4:05 Eastern time start, 1:05 Pacific time start.
Good job,
beautiful,
Moses.
thank you, beautiful Seattle, Washington. Let's do our picks. Let's start with Team
Can I
12.
just say it's a 9:05 GMT start if you're in London.
There you go, 9:05 GMT, everybody. Thank you, Matt, for sharing.
Welcome.
Oh, but remember, we set our clocks back this weekend, so
Oh,
Yeah, well,
that could throw you off.
Cell
Jose
phone and
was
computer
right.
do it automatically.
Jose's time was wrong for me as well because I was an hour ahead of you guys, so it's like, you know, it's all bollocks. Just
It's all bollocks.
So that
All
may
of it.
change. Okay, our picks. Team 12. Jose
Bollocks and
said
crumpets.
Well, I bought some, they're amazing.
Jose said 31-20, game ball Lockett. Lockett scores touchdown. Tom said Seahawks 27-21. Carson gets 2 touchdowns, game ball Carson. Lil Mo said 31-17. Seattle over 125 yards rushing as a team, and he's given his game ball to Magic Moore. Mark Ty Turner says, well, we know November will reveal whether the Hawks are contenders. I'm staying with Russell and that suddenly juggernaut offensive line. Hawks 28, Chargers 17. Game ball to Baldwin, who finally has a big day. And his prognostication is Dixon boots a 70-yard punt with no return. That was a punt and no return. Wasn't that a movie? Anyway. Mike Pascal, Hawks 26, Bolts 23. Hawks more sacks than Bolts. And game ball to Lockett. And now we go to Team Posse, Matt.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Do you have a pick and a prognostication?
And can I just say, I think some of those prognostications from the Team 12 are a little bit weak. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, Chris Carson touches the ball. You know what I mean? Just be a little bit more, you know.
It's no coincidence that we started going with their strategy. My point total has gone way up.
Wait,
Hey,
no,
listen.
pick the obvious, people.
I was stuck at like 7
listen,
for like 2
listen.
years.
Go ahead and trash talk. No one's listening, so it
Well,
doesn't matter.
I know. It's
Yeah.
fine. Well, no, Jose will be listening. 'cause
Yeah,
he's gonna be
Jose.
checking
Jose,
the
take that,
check the
man.
game time.
Take that, Jose.
Fact check everything we say.
We
Right,
love it.
so, score-wise, Seahawks 27, Detroit. Oh, I need to lay down. It's too much. It's too early in the morning for all this bollocks. Seahawks 27, Chargers 24.
Gotcha.
Now, going back to that game in 2010, played the Chargers, Leon Washington, ran about twice, I took it away twice. Well, I'm going to invoke the memory of 33 and 29. So I'm going to give my game ball to Lockett.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say Leon Washington.
I did too.
That would be amazing.
Wow.
I was like, yeah, just throw it away, man. Throw it away.
No, absolutely not. No. My prognostication, but I can't say it's going to be the same as 2010 because it won't be. So my press Lockett with a kickoff return for 6. So I think he's going to get a return. And I think Phillip Rivers is going to get intercepted by someone. I'm not going to give who, though, because
Well, which one you want to do? You want to do Lockett or you want to do Rivers?
I want to do both because I'm doing a proper prognostication, not one of these, the grass.
Pick one.
The turf is going to be bloody
But listen,
green.
and I know in England it's the same way. Prognostication is singular.
No, you have the whole thing as a prognostication. You have the whole story if I wanted to. It's my bloody pick. Put it down, fat man.
Ooh.
He is Stewie.
All right, and I hope
You're
that,
Peter Griffin to him.
and I hope that Lockett gets tackled at
Can
the
I be
5.
Brian?
All right,
You-
Will.
we all know why you want to be Brian.
Will.
Yes, Moses.
Oh my God, save us, Will.
Okay. Seahawks 24. The should-be San Diego Chargers 17.
San Diego
Um,
Superchargers.
My prognostication, with Carson banged up, I think Rashad Penny's going to get in the game, and he's going to have at least one explosive play. In other words, a run or a reception of greater than 20 yards.
Oh, my God.
And my game ball will go to Frank Clark.
Okay, give me a second. I'm writing all this down. All right. Statsman Mark.
Gee.
Hi.
Well, I swear I wrote down my score before Matt announced his, but it's identical. 27-24 Seattle.
That's all right.
Yes.
And in the spirit of, Carson over 100 yards rushing.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, 100-yard game is still...
Yeah, that's not a big deal.
100-yard game.
Hey, we're trying to make up the difference. I love it.
It's not like
you
you saying
play
Carson's going to run
win
for 50.
the
And
game.
I thought really hard about this one, game ball Carson.
All right, yeah, wait. So wait a minute. Matt's complained about your prognostication, and he's got like 2 of them on there that have to happen. But but yours, yours is not
Matt
good.
forgets we're trying to shorten the gap.
I know.
here and try
Well,
and win.
hey, I'm trying to help here, Dustin. He's not listening. What do you got?
Why not?
If I wanted to guarantee, I could have said 51 yards rushing.
Exactly. Sorry, Dustin.
No, that's okay. That's okay. It
You may
just feels
proceed.
like I'm at home again, and I'm talking to my wife, and she doesn't listen.
Oh my
So
God.
it's you guys are making me feel at home.
You know what? Y'all just need to like get some Halloween candy and chill. All right.
I can't.
Well, how about giving me a score or prognostication in the game ball?
Sure. I'm gonna say this. I think there's gonna be a lot of points scored. Actually, I think it'll be probably like 31 and 27 Seahawks.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give Baldwin the game ball because I
Okay.
want him to play well.
Yes.
He's due a blowout.
The game a little bit. He's been kind of a non-factor.
Yes.
Was that?
He's due a
Oh, I
blowout.
missed that, sir.
He's doing a blowout.
Is that good?
Yes.
We've talked about this. Yeah.
If he does it.
Yeah.
Gets
And then
both feet in.
prognostication for me, and this is how you know Tyler Lockett has been doing really, really well because everybody's kind of keen on that guy.
Yeah.
But I think we keep giving him jet sweeps. I think he's going to score a touchdown off a jet sweep this week.
Oh.
That's a good one. That's
Wow.
a good
That
prognostication.
is a
I
good-
like that.
That is
That's
a good one.
Yeah.
That's a
And
diffi-
you know
there
what's
should
the
be a
best
degree of
thing about it,
difficulty.
Matt?
Right.
There's one of them. That's what the best thing about his
for
is.
Christ's sake. Right, okay, change mine then. Leon Washington, now I'm doing it now. Lockett with a kickoff will get
Leon
his
Washington
return.
will
There
top
you
play
go.
the game.
All right.
Just so you can make your bloody Excel spreadsheet work or however you work this policy thing out.
Bloody.
Thank you. I feel better.
You know what's
All
going to
right.
happen? That's not going to happen, but the other one that you originally picked
Shut up,
was-
Will.
That would be so
Fucking-
funny.
fucking
I hope
livid.
that happens now.
I'm
Okay, here
gonna
we
come
go.
back on the show,
I
Sodom.
don't. I'm too competitive for that.
All right, it's my turn. Well, the Seahawks face the Los Angeles Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers is not only the name of an NFL franchise, it's also the name given to hordes of movie star housewives buzzing around Beverly Hills stores on Friday afternoon. Los Angeles Chargers, think about it. Do you take American Express Platinum? The NFL Charger franchise.
What accent was that?
The NFL Charger franchise is playing another road game, but let's face it, every game they play is a road game. Their stadium had so many members of the Black Hole in it when they played Oakland, I thought it was the Los Angeles unemployment line.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
The Chargers are led by quarterback Philip Crimea Rivers, who has eight
That's
children.
good.
Who has 8 children. Eight
No.
children. He has 8 children. Can you believe that? I mean, seriously, it's okay though. His wife allows this because she knows that his children will be his only significant accomplishment in his entire life. So,
Ooh.
watch
Salty.
the Seahawks. I don't care anymore. Watch the Seahawks
Feisty.
make Philip Crimea Rivers as they sack him 4 times. My prognostication. My game vault does go to Chris Carson, who will roll over the hapless Chargers like they owe him some money. And watch the Seahawks unplug the Chargers by a score of Seahawks 31, Chargers 23. Book it. All right. Well,
Can
it
we
looks
just
like-
clarify where were those accents of those married women in
Do you
Los
take
Angeles?
American? Let me do it again. Ready? Do you take American Express Platinum?
That's not what you said.
Oh
That's
my
not how you
God.
did it. Oh my god.
He's trying to do a Valley Girl kind
Oh
of
my
thing.
god!
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you take
yeah.
Platinum? I'm a Los Angeles Charger.
Like, turn
All right.
awesome. Oh my god.
All right. Well, look, it's time to bring another wonderful and amazing 12-man Fan Jam show to a close. We hope you enjoyed wasting some time with us. We hope you laughed a little and you learned something. We learned so much on this show. We learned that the Boogermobile has been modified. We learned there is no dildo throwing in football. Nobody sucked Hasselbeck. We want that perfectly known. We
Poor guy. Poor
my.
guy.
This show is moving. Dustin can be a gentleman at times. Nico Thorpe has a little groin. Retro is the new must-have. And finally, we learned that Baldwin is still due a blowout. So, on behalf of my partner in crime, Matt, our newshound Shadowhawk Will, Statsman Mark, Dustin as the Beaver, Mike Pascal, Roger Goodell, Mark Ty Turner, Jose, Tom Mosette, Little Mo, Dan Fouts, Chuck Muncie, J. Jefferson. This is Moses saying, until next time, go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
But I can't believe you only gave those trick-or-treaters 2 fingers, Moses. It's outrageous.
Well,
My Lauren.
My line was off, bitch.
Off your
Fuck off,
Lauren.
bitch. My Lord.
get off my lawn, my God.